be working on today during Reader's Workshop, because it is a big, big mountain that you climb this year. It's an academic mountain that you've got to scale. And it's a skill that we have to practice over and over and over again to get good at. Even grown-ups sometimes struggle with this one. Today, we're going to be talking about the skill of making inferences. Remember, if you want to write something down about the mini lessons that we're learning together, when I am talking about making inferences, I love to think about this as like putting a puzzle together. How many of you have put puzzles together with your family before? So we know that when we put pieces of a puzzle together, the picture starts to become clear, doesn't it? Well, what if a piece was missing? What if a piece was invisible? When I was a little girl, they had this thing called invisible ink. And it was really cool because you could write on a piece of paper and you saw it and then the ink just disappeared. It just like evaporated from the page. It was amazing. So we have been working on learning how to put the pieces in the text together. The context is really the clues in the text connected with what I already know, like my background knowledge, every experience I've ever had. And then my brain is going to be asking a lot of questions when I read. And those questions that our brain asks is like a ramp to an inference. Sometimes students who struggle making inferences struggle because their brain's not asking them good questions. And then we're going to make an inference. But I have to kind of have all these pieces together to be able to do this. And we're going to become magicians, because inferring is being able to see what is invisible. And you might be thinking, no, wait a second, how can I see something that I can't see if it's invisible? I'm going to show you. It's really a cool reading trick. And when you get good at it, you become a deep, critical third grade reader. So we've been reading this book called Jackie Robinson. He was a famous baseball player, and we are near the end of the text. We've been reading it this whole week, and we're going to be listening for our control vowel, but mostly we're going to be thinking about how do I do this really cool reading trick called inference, and you're going to get a chance to practice. So I want you to watch me as I show you how to make invisible things visible, and this is going to be really important. Let's read this together. Ready?
When you infer, you go beyond the author's words to understand what is not said in the text.
So the author's going to say something without saying it. And your job is to uncover the hidden message. There's a big fancy word called implicit, implied meaning. He's going to say some things that are not actually there, but your brain is going to figure it out. So here we go. The American hero. On April 15th of 1947, Robinson took the field as a Dodger for the very first time. Robinson heard both cheers and insults as he stepped onto the plate. My mind just said something to me. He heard people cheering and he heard people insulting him. So I'm wondering and questioning, why? Why would they be insulting him? Why were some cheering? Why were some being insulting? I'm starting to wonder why that would happen. Some of his teammates showed him support, though others did not entirely accept him. So some people on his own team were giving him high fives, supporting him, and others did not fully accept him. So now twice in the text it's told me some are cheering, while others insult, some support, while others don't accept him. And my brain is starting to wonder why. And I start to think in my mind, what would cause that, right? So my questions are going to kind of lead me to an inference. And what's invisible here that hasn't been said is something's wrong, right? Like the author hasn't told me yet, then maybe it's going to tell me in a second. Unfortunately, this was not the best game of Robinson's career. Under the pressure of such a historic moment, he started off with a slump. Do you see what I did with my shoulders there? What do you think slump means? His career started off with a slump. Yeah, like my shoulders kind of fell. It's not going so well. Under the pressure of such a historic moment, he started off with a slump that went on for several games. It wouldn't last, though. So I'm reading along and I'm thinking about the insults and the cheering and the people supporting him. The text says, this is right there in the text, the words tell me some important things. But then when I get to that sentence there that says, under the pressure of such a historic moment, he started with a slump. How do you think Jackie Robinson is feeling? In this moment, his first day as a Dodger, all this is happening. What word might you use to describe what he's experiencing, what he's feeling? Oh, what was the word?
Nervous.
Nervous. I think Jackie Robinson is nervous. Do you agree? Really quickly, would you find the word nervous on the page? Locate that word. She's looking, she's looking. Oh, guess what? It's invisible, right? It's inferred. You made an inference because when you can say Jackie Robinson must be nervous, did we just find invisible things that aren't there? But what we really did is we put what we already know. How many of you have done something for the very first time, been a gymnast and had to do a performance, or done a piano recital? And the very first time you do it, what are you feeling?
Nervous.
So your background knowledge, plus what the text told you, and the questions that your brain was asking, guess what they did? They led you to a
Inference.
but the word nervous isn't here. And gifted, deep, critical readers, they see things the author doesn't actually say. It's called implied meaning. I know Jackie Robinson is nervous in this historic moment, but it didn't really tell me that, did it? So what you're going to do now, that you've watched me do it, I want you to practice. I'm going to give you a page. You would usually have a copy of the text with you, but I'd like for you to go ahead and take this. This is the next section called Rookie of the Year, and I want you to read with a partner, and I want you guys to see if you can infer, find something that's invisible, and make it come to life through an inference. And you guys can partner read, shoulder read, you can read it independently and just talk about it however you would like to, but if you'll find a partner, and you're going to see if you can make an inference and find an invisible word.
Robinson didn't give up. So he was back in his own ways. Was on his way known as one of the best players.
Oh, you need another text.
Things are always participated across the country of the question, but especially when it's powerful and stone bases. For those of us, Robinson was known to be the first person.
He was back especially
Making an inference. So I'm assuming that the tickets to these things became the supply and demand was in place. So,
the league's first rookie
right. So I would infer the tickets became commodities. So if I'm in second grade, I would say the tickets were
prostitute is saying as he's like third base during the game against New York.
or words.
What kind of inferences are you guys making over here?
Well, we said since Jackie Robinson was a well-known person, we assumed the baseball tickets became expensive.
Oh, okay, so if I'm looking for the word expensive, can you tell me some evidence that led you to think that?
But yeah,
Well, fans all.
tax stadiums
Oh,
across
so
the country.
so you're thinking that as more people started to come, they increased the price.
Yes.
Did your background knowledge have anything to do with that, or was that something that the text just led you, or was it a combination?
It was a combination.
Okay, so the word would be expensive tickets. That's hidden, and that's implied meaning. All right, very good. And you have evidence to support that. That's what we always want to have. All right, boys and girls, if you'll turn this way, can I hear out, can a couple of you share maybe some invisible words that appeared on the page because you used this magical skill? Remember, an inference means mixing the visible with the invisible. So it's not something you just have to like conjure up from your brain. You're going to use what the text gives you to make what is invisible visible. Can somebody give me an example of an inference that they made while they were reading? Yes, ma'am, please.
We were saying that he's being accepted.
Oh, that from the page that you were reading, his teammates began to accept him. Is that correct? What evidence led you to that inference?
Because it said that fans of all races packed the stadiums across the country to watch him play.
If fans started coming around, not only did his teammates accept him, but the world began to accept him. And so is the word acceptance on that page?
No.
But it appeared magically from your inferencing. Isn't that a cool reading skill? Today when you're at the Reading Center, I want you to be practicing that inferring, noticing what is the author means but does not say. That's what we're going to look at. We might even be working with that on the guided reading table. If you're in the reading zone, do that. If you're listening to reading, do that. Wherever you are, I want you to practice that skill. If you want to jot a note in your reading journal about our new skill called inferencing, please do so. We're going to head out to our next work zone. Let's head on out. Our next group is Kate, Valeria, Angelina, Sammy, and Aiden. Can meet me at the guided reading table.